Hi guys, welcome back to B&B. We are back again for episode number 2. Wow, second episode. We are we're on fire. We are rolling. Okay, so again, let's just sweep the house up a little bit before we get started. Let's clean it up. Let's mop here. Freshen up. Let everything smell nice. Let the house smell nice, fresh, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the actual topic of today, um, I have a segment that I will be introducing as part of the episodes that we do. So, this first segment we're going to call Be Reddit. So, essentially, what happens is my producer will give me a scenario which I would read out and give my advice. I like to think I can give good advice. So, yeah, that's what we're going to start off with. So, we'll do Be Reddit. Let's go. Okay, Be Reddit. Oh, let's get into it. Oh my goodness. Am I the problem? Oh, I guess we're about to find out. So, here it goes. Am I the problem for refusing to help my aunt? I, so this person is 17-year-old male, was offered a job by, actually, I'll read it as it's said here. So I, 17-year-old male, was offered a job by my aunt to house sit for a week while she and her husband took her kids on vacation. Okay, I, I did all that was asked. Okay. I took care of the dogs, the cats, the fish, even the tarantula. My uncle has even the tarantula my uncle has, even when I'm terrified of spiders. Oh, that is brave. You're a better person than me because hell no. I have a fear of spiders and there's no way I would be doing that. The dogs, absolutely fine. The cats, the fish, yeah. Anyways, let's continue. This was about 2 weeks ago and I was supposed to be paid by Monday. Oh, that's already a problem. After a couple of days, I asked when I would be paid, and she told me she was waiting until she got paid first. Fair. Fast forward a few more days, and I told her I need the money to get to get my girlfriend a gift for our anniversary. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Okay, so from what I understand is you're waiting for payment for babysitting. Sorry, for house sitting whilst your aunt and uncle went on vacation with their kids. Yeah, okay. What I would like to know actually is what was the price that you were, um, what were you meant to be paid? Okay, and then I'll continue. Eventually, I got mad and told her I'll charge interest, so that's $10 for every day that she didn't pay me. But I never had the balls to actually do so. Yeah, it can be hard, I know. She still hasn't paid me, and I got fed up and told her I won't do any more work for her until I'm paid. You stand your ground, boy. Around Wednesday night, she wanted me to babysit her kids, and I told her no. Now, her and her husband are both mad at me and saying that I'm being immature and inconsiderate. My defense was that I couldn't do any more jobs while not knowing if I was going to get paid. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, that is completely fair. Now her and her husband both keep blowing up my phone, telling me I'm being immature and I'm in the wrong for this. Am I the problem? Short answer is you're not the problem. The issue is you agreed to house sit and look after the cat, the dog, the fish, and the tarantula. And you agreed to be paid. You still haven't received a payment. And now, on top of that, they're asking you to babysit the kids whilst the money's still outstanding. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think you're in the wrong at all. Because you should have been paid for the service that you provided at first, as it was agreed between you, and now you're having to chase for payment, which is quite unfair. You know, linking onto that actually, just before I do give my opinion, is I do have a story that's quite similar when it comes to money. Boy, let me tell you, Money can break friendships, it can break relationships, it can break families. Money is dangerous. Money is good, actually. Money is good, but it can really be a detriment to a lot of, your relationships. But yeah, back to the story I was just about to add. This someone who owes me money. The amount was £5. Yes, I know, I know, I know. You probably sat there thinking, you're immature, you're inconsiderate. £5 and you're mad at £5. Let's not forget, this is my money. Yeah? My money that you came and asked for. I went out of my way to help you, but now when it comes to payment, it's a whole story. Anyways, I digress. Let me not get into that because if I get into it, there are some very interesting stories. Maybe one day I will actually tell you this. But for now, let's keep it at that simple example of the person who owed me money. So I don't think you are in the wrong because you should be paid for that service. The only thing I would say is, try, of course, be respectful in the way that you demand for payment and ask for payment. Be respectful, like I said. Don't just be like, oh, I need my money, I need this, I need this. Yes, respect your elders, but also sometimes I think because there is, well, I'm speaking in African communities. There's a thing of respecting your elders. It's the same with other ethnicities as well. But just being very respectful about the way that you go about asking for payment. Be firm. Explain that you need the money for this reason, for the reason that you said, to get your girlfriend a gift for your anniversary, and just explain that. And hopefully you get your money soon. Okay, I think that's it. I think that was okay advice. There was nothing much to that, but that was actually really interesting. I really like that. So that is be Reddit. Sorry. So that's the segment we'll start discussing here and there. I now want to go on to talk about what it was like growing up in the UK as the main segment for this episode. Right. Okay. So yeah, we'll get into, I guess, the topic for today. Just wanted to talk about what life was like for me growing up in the UK. Overall, it wasn't bad. I think, I think I've had so far up until now, there are no complaints at all about life in the UK. I actually have loved growing up here. I spent my childhood starting from primary school to secondary school and then sixth form / college, all the way to university. And here I am, still here. Absolutely no complaints. Life in the UK is, I think it's good. It depends as well where you've grown up, whether that's outside of London. Everyone has their experiences. Everyone's experience is completely different. But for me, it was positive. It was great. Starting off at primary school, take it back there a little bit. Primary school was fun. Well, wow, this is such a long time ago. Yeah, I don't want to make myself sound old, but this is a very long time ago. But I loved my primary school. I was a bit of a goody two shoes actually. I was the guy at school who was never up to no good. Always do my homework. You get awards for this, for that, for that. If you allow me to boast a little bit, but but yeah, no. Primary school for me was great. I loved primary school. I remember we have like these school reps. I'm sure this is like bringing memories. School council. Being the goody two shoes that I am, I was on the school council 3 times. Like, it can't get any better than that. What were the privileges of being a school council? You get to leave your lessons to go for like meetings and have school council meetings is what we would call them. You'd get, did we get a badge? I can't remember. I don't think we did, but we got something and it was so damn good. Uh, No complaints, absolutely no complaints. I loved primary school. You know, if you went to primary school here in the UK, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was great. And then we move on to secondary school. So that's from like 11 to 16 here in the UK. And at the end of that, you then go and do your exams, which we call here GCSEs. You do that. Secondary school for me again, amazing. It was just, yeah, great. And then university. Oh, sorry, I missed one stage. Sixth form slash college, incredible, no complaints. There's a lot. I think back then things are different now, but back then it was so much more fun. I do look at like the generation today, and I look at like what's happening. Secondary school kids. I'm just like, oh my goodness, you guys look bored. Like it looks boring. You don't actually speak. It's all telephones, you know. But back then, we actually speak, we'd interact. You know, you'd actually play. Oh, core memory, playing out. That was fun. Come back from school, you go to play outside, on the streets. But these days, the kids even do this. I don't know. I don't think they do. They just get home, go on the phones, and oh, that's another conversation that I don't want to get into because B's going to start biting soon. Um, yeah, yeah, playing out was so fun. I remember I'd always come back. Oh my goodness, so many. No, there's a lot we can go into. Disney, we were like the Disney kids. You come back home from school, you go and you watch That's So Raven, Hannah Montana. What else was that? Wizards of Waverly Place. There was so much. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Oh, those were the days. Power Rangers, 7 a.m. before school. I would be up at 6, ready for 7. Watch Power Rangers, and I'm on my way to school. Like all of these things don't happen anymore. That was life in the UK. Growing up was amazing, and then until now, the age that I am now, it's still great. I think I do really like no, I do love being here. It's really my home. I call this home now. And I love growing up in the UK. I love growing, well, I still do because I'm here. And that's pretty much it. I think that's as much as I can say. Otherwise, I'm going to be going on forever. There is so much that has happened here, you know. But I will actually end that segment there. Before we do go ahead, we do have another segment called Bees Bites. So this segment is where we're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? Nothing is off limits. Anything and everything. Yeah, I'll explain that shortly. But let's us just wrap this last segment up. Right. So this segment is called Bee Bites. So in this section of the podcast and every episode, I'll basically be touching on different things. You know, it could be controversial stuff. Again, I'm trying to tread nicely on that because we're not going to be controversial, you know. But what we are going to do is we're going to stand on business because over here we stand on business. And so for today's bite topic, you know, we're going to be talking about entitlement. So I just want to kind of touch on that, just give you my take on this. You know, in this section as well, I could be giving advice. I could be telling you off. You know, it could be anything. But entitlement is what I wanted to actually talk about. This one's quite an interesting one because it maybe kind of, you know, links back to what we were talking about in the first section. So in B Reddit, the Reddit we had, you know, in relation to the auntie and, you know, payment, etc. So entitlement. What is entitlement? I would actually like to get the definition of entitlement. We're going to place it somewhere here on the screen. The definition of entitlement. So, entitlement can refer to both a formal right or privilege and also a feeling of being owed something without necessarily having earned it. Okay, so that is the definition. Again, this kind of relates back to the Reddit we've just looked into. And what's my take on entitlement? I think it's bad. It's not a good or a nice I guess trait to have. Yeah, so entitlement, I think it can be bad. Some people do, use it to their advantage, at the expense of other people. And by that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you feel like you're entitled to certain things, you're entitled to this, that, how things should happen should be the way that you want them to happen. But that's not, it's not the way life should be. It's not the way you should, live life. Yes, there's certain things you work hard for, that you're entitled to, but there's a way to go about certain things. I kind of want to also link this to the scenario we looked at the very start, in that it can be a good thing. In that instance, he is entitled. So the babysitter, not the babysitter, the guy who we had in the scenario is entitled to his money because that's what was agreed. He said he was going to be paid for taking care of the house, and the money wasn't there, so he's entitled to it. That, in that situation, is completely fine. But in other situations, some people do take it a little bit too far. That's when they become a little bit more arrogant, as well, which arrogance is another trait. Oh. Again, these are things that we're going to be talking about. You're going to be hearing my take. These little keywords, these words, arrogance, not a good trait. I digress. And just to add on to that as well, I also want to talk about boundaries, the importance of setting boundaries and not being a people pleaser. Because let's be real, at some point in our lives, we've done it. You're doing something, but you want to prove a point, or you want people to like you for something. I don't know. It could be anything. We've done it. Just being aware of that as well, and being aware that if I don't set boundaries and I keep pleasing people, I'm doing this, I'm going out of my way to do this, to do that, you're going to get to a point where you yourself are drained because you're doing certain things for people that are not being reciprocated as well, because it all works both ways. Yes, I can do this, I can do that for you, but help me out as well. And it also comes to, as you grow, being able to understand what your boundaries are, because once you can set those boundaries with people, trust me, nobody is going to be walking all over you. When you have no boundaries in place, and I can literally come here and say, oh, well, yeah, if I go to this person, they're going to say, yeah. If I go to that person, they're going to say this. Another story. It's just come to mind. Boundaries, back in uni. Actually, now maybe let's save this for another episode. Let's save this maybe for next week's episode. If you come back, I can tell you, we can talk about boundaries. Actually, I think this would be an interesting topic to discuss on its own. As a whole, we can break it down a little bit, talk about a few things, go through some examples, and just explore it a little bit more. And then I'm going to be a lot more brutal, trust me, but it'll be for your benefit, because over here we're honest, we're kind, and we're just all about good vibes. But honesty is the best policy, and that's how we move around here. Let's now go a little bit deeper. Let's get cozy. No, let's just sit in our cozy corner. So for this section, I wanted to talk a little bit more about what has actually shaped me to be who I am today. whether that was family, what exactly was it that has shaped Bienvenu to be who and to be the man that you see today. So let's just get comfortable, grab a cup of tea, grab something, grab water. If you're drinking alcohol, whatever it is, you just grab whatever you need to grab right now. And let's just cozy up and get a little bit deep. What has shaped me to be the person I am today? I know you're gonna probably think you're gonna give a really, really boring, simple, generic answer, but this is genuinely what no has made me who I am today. And I think it is, well, I know it is down to my family, my friends, and some of my teachers as well at school. I've had like I've already mentioned, my childhood hasn't been, you know, horrible. I've had a great childhood. I've been surrounded by amazing people who I know I can always go to if I needed help, whether that was at home, whether that was with my friends, my social life, and at school. School has played a huge, huge part in growing up here in the UK as well. And as you know, I went to primary and secondary school and all the way to higher education here in the UK. But I had some amazing teachers at school who I will forever ever remember. As I keep growing, and I starting in primary school. There was it was a PE teacher who, gosh, everybody was scared of. Like, you knew if this person was speaking, it was business. Like, nobody would dare like step out of the way. But he was a good no a good teacher. He had a good balance of being strict, being firm, but also being fair. And reasonable, and someone that you can go and talk to. And I really found that a lot of people would go and talk to this particular teacher because they knew, yes, he's gonna tell me off if I do wrong, which rightly so, but also he's gonna give me good advice, and this is all for my benefit. And I know always having somebody like that is definitely important. If you've got someone in life who is always giving you, I'm not saying good advice is bad, but they're never holding you accountable for your actions, because you've got to be held accountable when you're doing something wrong. It's wrong. Someone has to tell you. Otherwise, you're going to keep growing up doing these things until you then face the big bad world, and somebody tells you in your later years and you're thinking, oh gosh, this is a shock. This is not great, because you've been used to being being what is a what's the word you've just been used to being taken care of, not being held accountable, not being told when you're wrong. It's not good. It is not good at all. So having those figures at school was really good. Going into secondary school as well, again, incredible teachers. My head teacher was he was yeah. I really really loved my head teacher back in secondary school. Again, all my friends know what he was like. He was very very firm, and you would not want to step out of line. You knew when this person was in the building, do not even mess about. Do not mess about. And yeah, my teachers as well were just amazing, amazing. So nothing really bad to say, as I've already mentioned. And then also, these are also the important things for me. Are again, you're going to know this about me as we start to progress. Is that my family and my friends are my core. They are literally at the core of everything. If it was not for these people in my life, guys, I don't know. I honestly do not know. The support that they offer me, I honestly cannot explain, and I'll forever be grateful for everything that they do for me. No, again, that's my family and friends, because without them, I honestly would not be who I am today. like I said, again, comes back to accountability, being held accountable. When I'm doing something that isn't right, they'll be like, B, this isn't right. You shouldn't be doing this. This is how you should be acting. You should, you know. And I just think it's something that I really find very important and believe that it has shaped who I am. Of course, I have the final say. I do things. I am the one who does the act, but I'm always very wary because when you've had people who have, paved the way for you and said, okay, this is how you should behave. This is how you treat, certain people. That has been something that I've grown up with, and just me as a person, my nature is, I'm calm of nature. As you can see, I am very, very calm, very relaxed. I can be fun as well, but of nature, I'm such a calm, caring person. And this is why, again, I really wanted to start this project and, get the opportunity, have the opportunity to also meet and interact and speak to people who are like minded and as calm as me. It's not every day you'll be coming on the internet screaming and shouting and making noise and doing this, doing that. No, sometimes, guys, let's build a community, like I keep saying, let's build a community of incredible people, people who are ambitious, people who have dreams and who aren't afraid to take risks, because this is a risk I'm taking. And I was not afraid for so long. I'd sat on this idea and I said, oh, I'm scared. I'm worried. What are people going to think? What are people going to say about this? But just said, no, B, take that risk and just put yourself out there. And here I am. So that is just, me as a person. That's just genuinely what you see is what you get. And I'm sure, well, I hope my friends can also testify, and my family. I hope, well, I believe they will definitely agree with that, because that is genuinely who I am. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. That was just us getting a little bit cozy, just chatting. We're going to have a lot of these. Some episodes we're going to be talking about, things that are going on that are interesting at the moment. Other episodes we're going to sit down, maybe grab like I said, grab a cup of tea, coffee, a drink, whatever you want, a cheeky wine. I don't know. It's whatever you want. And let's just chat, get comfortable, and just go a little bit deeper. But that is everything that I have to say for this episode. We will be back again next week for another episode. So from this point onwards, guys, we will be going live every week. I did also just want to add that the episodes on YouTube will be dropping live. So it will be live on the day that it airs, and then of course it will stay there and remain there, just so that you're all aware. Again, on Spotify as well. So for all of my Spotify listeners right now, we'll be going live every single week. That's every Saturday at 7 p.m. So always stay tuned, stay alert, keep your eyes out on the social. So make sure, if you're not already following, follow Being B Podcast, both on TikTok and Instagram. Guys, let's get these socials growing. Oh, actually, let's reel this back a little bit. I want to actually thank you all for the love, the support that you have shown me this past week. I cannot thank you enough. I think, like I said, I was so nervous about putting this project out into the world, but the love that you guys have shown me, oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. Oh, I could not thank you enough. So if you see me your DMs constantly thanking you for sharing my posts, for sharing, the episodes, please just, that's just who I am. Like, I will not stop thanking you all for the support that you are showing me. I am so happy, with the way that things have gone off. And let's keep this going. Let's keep on pushing. Let's keep on growing. Remember, this is your space to grow. This is our space to grow. This is our safe space. This is your safe space. You know, be brave, be bold, and be brilliant. This is what we're all about. So join the community. Let's do amazing things together. Let's really see it through. You know, I'm going to be very honest throughout this whole process. I'm going to show you from here until we get up there. So if you are here, make sure you stick here until we are up there. And, you know, like I said, I'm going to keep on thanking you guys always. So make sure you're still following us, and we will be back for another episode. Have a great week and see you soon. Bye, guys.